Wendy Day. What's going on?
I'm so happy to be here.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to Afro Odyssey.
Awesome.
I'm gorgeous.
Yes, you are.
Welcome. Welcome back, guys. I have a special guest here today, the one and only Wendy Day. How are you doing?
I am great. I've been working too hard, but I'm great.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been working too hard.
I have been. So the economy right now, how much do you want to know? Like
Okay,
the
no.
economy
Like,
right
tell
now-
me everything.
Okay. The economy in music right now is a little challenging, but not in a bad way, because like all my clients are still making money.
Yes.
But I got to work harder because there's too much, like it's oversaturated right now. And whenever it gets oversaturated, it makes my job a little bit harder.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand. So you are a little bit busy right now. You got a lot going on.
Yeah. Next year's going to be worse though.
I know. 2025 is going to be a good year.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be a great year.
I've got so much shit coming.
For real?
But keep going. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about
Yeah, we got to talk about it on camera. But so just like, so for everyone on the platform, we're just going to kind of get into like how you kind of came about.
Okay.
What it is you're doing in the industry. And my first leading question is, could you just tell us what inspired you to like start Rap Coalition?
Passion. Yes. So I went to a concert. I'm from Philadelphia originally, and I went to a concert at University of Pennsylvania, and I went to see the Psychedelic Furs, which is like a new age rock group, right? And they were my favorite group at the time.
Yeah.
And the opening act was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Oh.
And I saw them do like, "Don't push me, cause I'm close to the
edge."
And I lost my fucking mind. This was 1980. This is 1980.
I wasn't even born yet.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So I'm like this, watching them. Like I was just mesmerized, like the syncopated rhythm and the rhymes, and then it was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them on stage in black leather outfits. All the outfits were different, but they were all black leather, so they looked like really cool together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? This is awesome. So that was like on a Friday night or a Saturday night. It was probably a Saturday. And I went on Tuesday, which is when music used to drop. I went on Tuesday to Sound of Market Street, which was a record store.
Yeah.
And I went up to the DJ and I'm like, yo, I need everything by this group, Grandmaster Flash. And he's like, what? I'm like, I need everything by this group, Grandmaster Flash. He goes, okay, the group is the Furious Five. Grandmaster Flash is the DJ. And he's like, they don't really have anything out yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh? He's like, they're from New York, and it's this new style of music, and there's nothing out yet, but it's coming, don't worry. So he had a cousin in like Queens or Brooklyn that used to send him cassettes. This is how long ago it was.
Yeah.
It was cassettes.
Like the little cassettes you put in the things that my mom used to use?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was sending cassettes. He would record in the clubs in New York on Friday night and Saturday night, and then overnight the cassettes so that on Tuesday they would arrive to the DJ, and he would be in the store dubbing them and selling them to everybody for $10 a pop.
Oh, wow.
So every Tuesday I went and got my fix. Like I just want to hear what's going on in the clubs in New York. And it was just amazing. And then I didn't, like, there was never a point at that moment where I was going to do it for a living, because back then I was chasing money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make money. I come from a kind of poor background, so money mattered to me.
Of course.
And I ended up moving to Montreal and working for a liquor company.
Canada?
In Canada.
Okay.
Yep, I moved to Canada, worked for a liquor company, and made a bunch of money and came home and said, okay, what am I going to do with my life? And one of the things that I always do when I'm soul searching is I started taking classes. So I was taking classes at NYU. I had already had an undergraduate degree in graphic design. I have a master's degree in African American Studies, and I have an MBA that I got when I was in Montreal. So I started taking classes just to learn, like, shit, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? And I took a class in the music business. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to do next.
And it just felt like
And
you
it
were
just
led
felt
there.
right.
Yeah.
I remember the teacher, he was an accountant, Burt Padell, like an accountant to the stars, right? He was Madonna's accountant and Luther Vandross and Albie Shore, and they were like the biggest artists at the time back then. It would be like Drake's accountant today, or Ed Sheeran's accountant, or Taylor Swift's accountant today, right? Like superstar guy. And I decided that I wanted to help artists because he was telling us how much artists got jerked. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do that until I run out of money. So I sold my condo, I sold my BMW, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I started a not-for-profit called Rap Coalition.
Oh my God!
And that was 33 years ago.
I'm not
33
even
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So like, and you starting Rap Coalition, like I know one of the biggest things that, of course, we all know. You co-signed Eminem. You know, you really pushed forth, like he was a battle rapper.
Yes.
You know, so
he was a battle rapper at a time when battle rappers couldn't really make money. They were great to watch, but the labels weren't signing them because their music wasn't selling. So they were more of like a novelty act.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he was white at a time when the industry was like, we're not signing any white rappers, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, so like working with him, what was it like working with like an icon? Like he's an icon today.
But he wasn't then. He
exactly.
Was like
like back then.
Yeah,
like,
he was like us.
So what did you see in him? Like, what was it?
The talent. I saw how other people reacted to him, and I look more at the reaction than I do at what I think, because what I think doesn't matter. You and I can't even talk about that. Like it doesn't matter what I think. I'm not the market, right? There are not 300 million me's out there buying music, right, or streaming music. And with him, I was watching how other people reacted. I was listening to what people were saying. When I went to Detroit to speak on a panel, I had Rhymefest with me, who's an incredible lyricist. He wrote Jesus Walks for Kanye.
Oh,
right?
wow,
for
real?
Yeah. So I had him with me, and he was like, yo, this guy is the best I've ever heard. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're the best I've ever heard. So I'm like, wow, he's better than you. I need to hear this guy.
Yeah.
And I heard him, and I'm like, okay, he's great, but is the industry going to respond? Like, being great is not enough.
Exactly.
Right? Is the industry going to respond to him, and are fans going to embrace him? And I realized that, okay, yes, fans will embrace him because rap was kind of crossing over into mainstream at that point in time. And I'm like, okay, so the fans will embrace him, but the labels don't. Maybe if we can prove that there's a market for him, the labels will gravitate towards him. And it's what I did with Do or Die in Chicago and with Twista in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'll just do what I know to do, but with him, and see how it works.
Right.
They weren't having it. They were like, yeah, no, he's still a white rapper. So I thought it would be really cool to prove them wrong by doing this thing called Rap Olympics. So I did an event that brought light to lyricists at a time when like gangster rap and street rap was like really starting to come out and grow. And I'm like, this will show them that it still matters. And of course, he was getting interviewed by everybody from BET to MTV to, everybody. All the magazines covered him. And from there, it was just on and popping.
And like, okay, so from just artists that's coming up right now, with how you had to come into the industry and the things you had to do, like the industry has changed tremendously.
So much.
Right?
It changes every 6 months.
Like literally.
Literally.
You know what I mean? And then we have that slower period during the winter time, and then artists come back out during the summer, and we're like, whoa, like this is a new artist, So like, what is the biggest misconception that you see in the industry that artists see today?
I think there's two, and I want to touch on something you just said because it's so important. But let me take a step back and say the biggest misconception is that people get discovered. Like, you could pass your music to somebody that works at a record label and they'll just put you on because you're talented. It does not work that way. It's a business. So they want to see what your numbers are. Like, are fans embracing you? Are you working? Are you out here hustling? Are you trying to build your brand and get your music out here? And are fans responding to it? Like, I could love it. I could listen to. I'm wearing a T-shirt under here for Razkaz, who's my favorite rapper. And in my head, Razkaz should be multi-platinum, and he's not, because he raps like way above people's heads. So it's not about what somebody thinks that works in the industry. It's about what do the fans think? What do DJs think? What do the consumer? It's really what does the consumer think? And then the second misconception, I think, other than you can hand your music to somebody, is that it's easy to do this and that it's free. Like, in a perfect world, talent should be all that matters. Yeah. And if you're talented, you should be able to put your music up on Spotify, and the fans should be able to find it and then tell all their friends, oh my God, this is the dopest shit ever. And it doesn't work that way. You still have to market and promote, and you still have to build awareness and build a buzz for your music, and get some momentum going in order for the fans to even like try you out.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be that way. It should be like, oh my God, this is a great song. Let me Shazam it. Oh my God, I love this artist. Let me just support everything this artist does. And it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that.
It should, but it doesn't.
Yeah, we wish though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what's for up and coming artists? Because I deal more so with up and coming artists.
Same.
You know, like artists that's trying to break in. What's something you would advise them when trying to break into the industry in the genre that they're in, or just wholeheartedly being an artist, like, you know? And
I start with people that have like 1,000 followers on Instagram, or have, 30 TikTok followers. Like, I start, that's the area where I kind of hang out, because to me it's more rewarding to help somebody when they're starting and show them, hey, this is how it looks when it's legitimate, honest, and transparent. So as you grow, you don't get taken advantage of. Yeah. So that's always kind of the area where I hang out. But what artists can do is they can find an investor or somebody that's willing to invest money into them so that they can market and promote, make the best music possible in whatever lane they're in.
Please. Yeah.
Yep. Like, talent does matter. It's not the most important thing. But then the thing that's really the most important, and I think this is the thing that's most frustrating for artists, is content is everything today. So you're almost a content creator that makes music as opposed to being an artist. And it pains me to say that. Yeah. Because it should be all about the art, but we live in a content world, and if you're not keeping up, people aren't going to discover you. And that's what you need as an artist, is to be discovered. Yeah. So, by fans, not by the industry.
Of course.
Fuck the industry.
Yeah. Fuck the industry.
Fuck the industry.
So social media is just such a big part of like 2024, and
it will be 2025.
It will.
Sadly. Yeah, it's just
and even bigger.
Even bigger. It's growing. Yeah. There's a book by Gary Vee, if you like to read, and I think it's called Day Trading Attention. Day Trading Attention. Yes. Okay. So and I suggest that you read it, not listen to it. I listen to books. In fact, when I pulled in tonight, I was listening to books. I listen to books all the time. Yeah. It's like my thing, right? I listen or read a book a week. But I suggest that book because he talks about how to do this properly, and it's changing so fast that a year from now, his book isn't going to be great advice. But right now, he's talking about the stuff that really works to spread messages, whether it's music, whether it's a sales gimmick, whether it's, education like what I do online. He talks about really how to get people's attention and how to spread it. And it's really an attention economy. And we've got to learn, if we've got great music, we've got to learn how to get attention with our music so that we can spread it to the people that will support us.
And reading books like that, just taking key points from what he's said and the things that you've learned in the industry, with social media being such a key thing, what are some tools and some strategies that you would give up-and-coming artists to actually move forward with actually getting numbers and making attention?
Yes. So the first thing that we do when somebody brings us on is we test the music, and we test 5 or 6 songs at a time. We put and it depends on the artist. Sometimes it's on TikTok, but most of the time it's on Instagram. It really depends on where the base is. Yeah. So, like for you, I would do Instagram if I were testing your music, right? I would have you make 6 minute-and-a-half long videos, 1 for each song, the same video, just you standing in front of a microphone rapping, or you in your car driving rapping. It would be like 5 or 6 videos, almost the same video over and over, right? Because I'm testing the music. I'm not trying to get people to pay attention to the video. I'm just using the video because video gets a bigger reaction than just putting audio out there to run ads. So I'm testing the music, and then I'm going into the dashboard. I'm spending $100 on each song for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
Yep. All at the same time. And then I'm pulling it down for 2 weeks, right? So then what I'm going to do is go into the dashboard and see how many people stayed for 50% of the time, how many stayed for 75%, and how many stayed for like 95%. And then that's going to tell me the order I'm going to drop these songs in. And I'm going to drop the one that did the best first, the one that did second best second. You're following me? So I've got my order of release now. And then I'm probably going to drop them every other week or every third week, but not further apart than every third week. I want to saturate the market, and I want to do that for a year.
Yeah.
This is why it takes money. And I'm going to run a little bit of budget for digital ads on each song. And I'm going to watch what each song does. And when some of the content starts to react, I'm going to go put a little more budget. And then if it starts to take off, I'm going to go all in like a poker game. But I'm spending a little bit of money to see what's reacting, and I'm doing more of what works and less of what doesn't.
Okay. And
I just gave you $1 million worth of
I
game.
know. I know.
I hope you wrote that down.
I can't even get excited, y'all, because I'm really sitting next to Wendy Day right now, but I'm just listening like, wow, okay, you know. So, you know, you said something that really stood out to me, which saddened you. Social media and being an artist and just wanting to care about your talent.
And you can't.
Yeah. What is something that you would say, even if it's something that you practice in your personal life, that you find balance between
I love that you're asking this.
Creativity and social media and staying true to what you're doing? Like, what's something you would advise artists?
So authenticity and vulnerability really matter. And they're like the number one thing right now that fans are looking for. They're looking for connection.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
And what's funny is when I was coming up in this, I would hear music, and then if I liked the music, I would get to know the artist. Nas, right? I heard Illmatic, and I was like, who is this guy? Oh, he lives in Queensbridge. Oh, his dad's a jazz musician.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he's got a brother that raps who's even better than him.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all these other artists coming out of his hood. Oh my God, this is cool. Today it's opposite. You've got to like what an artist stands for, and you've got to respect them before you check out their music. So it's like, if I'm scrolling on social media and your music is playing, it doesn't matter. I might stop and see you talking to the camera and you're talking about something that's important to you, like maybe it's like abused children or, you know, my thing is prison. I hate the prison system. So you might talk about the prison system or how unbalanced life is or how people of color are oppressed, you know, 500 fucking years later. Like, how are we still oppressing people of color, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to stop me because I'm going to be like, yeah, she's fucking on point. And then I'm like, who is she? And then I hit your bot. Oh, she's an artist. Let me go check out her music.
Yeah.
Oh, I can fuck with this. I like her music.
She's dope,
That's how it works. That's how it works today. So you've got to be you, and you can't talk about shit that you don't believe in because it's going to come off as fake.
Right.
But if you're talking about stuff that you care about in life, or you're talking about, I'm trying to think of an example, like say you're into fashion or makeup and somebody's, you know, scrolling by and they're like, wow, she's beautiful. Look, she's really healthy. I need to be a little more healthy. Let me check out what she's saying. Now they find out you're an artist, they want to hear your music. So you've got to be vulnerable and transparent and authentic in order to get people to pay attention. And then once they're paying attention, then you can suck them in. And I've learned even in my life, because I give out a lot of free game. Like, I'm on the internet constantly doing podcasts. Yeah. I interviewed Nick D last night telling him, look, dude, tell me how you built your career. You've streamed 1.5 billion songs as an independent artist. Tell me how so I can tell my people. You know, but I have to be able to translate that to get people to want to watch it. Like, they're just going to keep scrolling if I'm not interesting. They're gonna be like, "Who's this white bitch?" Like, just keep going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I've got to do things that I wouldn't normally do. You know, like, hey, now I've got your attention.
Oh wow.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I've got your attention. Like, oh, what was that? Oh, why is she yelling? And it might not be in my character to do that. Like, I'm a pretty chill person, so for me to have to do some clown shit to get attention, it's like, ugh. So for me, it's balance. And I think with every artist, it's got to be authentic, but it's also got to be out of your comfort zone, because if you're trying to get somebody's attention, you can't just be talking like this and not moving. They don't care.
Right. It has to be a certain type of energy.
Yes. Every 3 seconds, you need to be moving.
In an aura.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with artists, like independent artists and artists that we have as signees, could you just tell us just a little bit, what are the different type of deals that artists can get? Because that's something I speak about a lot of times. A lot of independent artists, oh, I want to get signed, I want to get seen, I want to get this. But a lot of people don't even know.
They don't know what that means.
They don't even know what it means.
What that means.
You know?
Exactly. And they do it because everybody before them has kind of done it, which it's like, I don't understand. But when you build enough of a buzz, when you have enough of a movement that somebody feels they can make money with you or off of you, right? They're going to reach out to you because they want to do business with you. And they're going to offer you the worst deal possible first, because if you're willing to sign to something insane, it's capitalism. Why would they not do that? Because they want to make the lion's share of the money. But if you kind of know what's fair and acceptable, they're going to have to come correct, especially if they see an opportunity to make real money with you. But having said that, there are artist deals where you as an artist will get 15 to 20% of the income after you've paid everything back out of your share, not off the top, but out of your share. So if they spend $1 million, you're going to pay back that $1 million out of your 15%, right? And then once it's paid off, then you start to collect 15%. Then there's, if you've got a little bit more leverage and they think they can make real money with you, they might offer you a joint venture, which could be anywhere from a 50-50 split to a 60-40 in your favor or 60-40 in their favor. It depends on what they have to give you in order to get back. So their goal is to give you as little upfront as possible and to get as much on the back end for as long as possible. Your goal is to do the opposite. You want to get as much as you can for as short a period of time. So it becomes sort of a test of wills. And you have to find that sweet spot where they don't walk away, but it's good enough for you and you don't walk away and you're both happy. And then the best deal you can get is a distribution deal.
Of course, I
and
say
that's
that
like an
all
80,
the
20,
time,
or an 85-15 in your favor, you know, in your favor. And the goal there is for you to make the lion's share of the money and have as much control and ownership as possible. And to get that, you've got to have like a good track record showing I can really do this. I can
like
really
show
make
my
money.
Numbers, like, you know.
And they got to be real. You can't just like
fabricate them.
Thank you, Drake. Yeah. Sorry.
Why you throwing shade, bro? But it's just speaking about like important people and deals and things that people need to know. Producers.
I love producers.
How important. People overlook producers all the time.
It's so frustrating because it's a production-driven environment. Like even for me, I told you I love lyricists. Like Razkaz is my favorite rapper, right? And even with that, like sometimes I'll hear a song and I won't even hear the lyrics. I just hear the melody and I'm humming along and I'm singing. And
Wendy, that's me every time. And then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes. So here's a funny story. This is embarrassing, but it's true.
What?
So there's a song by Fabulous where he counts 1 and breathe. I think it's called Breathe. Breathe, 1 into the 2, 2 into the 3. Okay, so I've been hearing that song since it came out. It's probably like 10 or 12 years old, right? It's not a new song. Do you know I just realized what he was saying?
What?
Like 6 months ago?
What?
No, I mean, like, I realized there were lyrics, but I'm like, oh shit, listen to what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
And it's
like, yeah.
And
you're always listening to like the melodies.
And then the melody, and it's like, it's such a great song. It's like in my playlist, I probably listen to it once a month, and I just realized 9 years after the first time, oh shit, he's rapping to this, right? He's saying something. Wait, what is he saying? Let me pay attention to what he's saying.
Right.
And I can't even spit back to you what he's saying. So that tells you like how important the track is. The track is everything. So producers who own 50% of the song, they're not able to make money by going on tour the way like Fabulous could, right? They're making money through publishing and through ownership of that beat. So first of all, it's really important that they maintain ownership.
Yes, of course.
And keep 100% of their ownership, which is 50% of the song.
Yes.
But it's also important that they file all of their proper paperwork like ASCAP, BMI, Sound Exchange, the MLC. Anywhere where they can collect money, they've got to be on top of that because that's where they're going to make money. And the artist has to recoup before they start making money.
Right. And a lot of people don't know how important producers are in this industry.
Super important.
They are the ones
They're
that
everything.
work hand in hand with these artists to craft the sound that they
Yes.
have, you know,
Yes.
creating sounds with artists.
Yes.
Like, we look at a lot of artists today, and a lot of it's because of the behind the scenes work, because of their team, because of the producers, and we forget a lot about them, you know?
Yeah.
And they're everything.
I agree.
You know?
I also think it's really important to work with the producer. Like so many of the artists that I
Yes.
know, they'll go on YouTube and find YouTube beats, or they'll go to BeatStars and they'll find beats. But if you could find somebody that has a sound that you love and that the fans love, it's not just you, because there's a lot of rappers out here that can't pick a beat.
Yeah.
Like they'll be rapping over some bullshit,
Yeah.
right? And they'll be dope as fuck, but the beat is like, what were you
Yeah,
thinking?
yeah.
You know? But if you find somebody that you really like their sound and you think it compliments you, reach out to them and see if you can really vibe with them, because once they get to know you and and you really like vibe with each other, they might make masterpieces for you. And it would be for you, as opposed to like a beat that has 240,000 views that you know everybody in the world has rapped over, and you're like, yo, this is my shit. Well, it's you and, you know, 240,000
Yeah,
other people
people's shit,
that
yeah.
have rapped over it
Yeah.
too, you know?
Yeah, so looking back on your journey as Wendy Day, Rap Coalition, working hand in hand with artists, co-signing people, what would you say were some of the biggest struggles you've had, and how you can encourage artists to keep pushing forward? Especially even me, sitting next to
Yeah.
you is an honor, you know, and I appreciate you so much for doing this. But not just that, the knowledge that you shared here today is amazing.
It's so
you know?
important, because it's what you need to succeed. Like you think you can just make music and everybody will love it, and it doesn't work that way. You got to learn how this works. You know.
And even starting my own business this year, there's been a lot of
Congratulations.
challenges. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of challenges and a lot of hard work that has to be put
Yes.
into it, you know.
Yes.
And then sometimes I even sit back and I'm like, dealing with people is the most challenging part, but
It is.
that's the business we're in.
Yes, you have to learn who is real and who's a scam.
Yes.
And 99% of the people in this business are full of shit.
Yes. Yes.
Sadly.
Yes.
They're just here to hit a lick.
Yeah. So I'm literally.
Or they're inept and hitting a lick. One or the other. I don't know if it's purposeful, or if they're fuckboys, or
Yeah.
if they're just idiots. I don't know which.
No,
but-
literally. So I'm like, okay, so even with me reflecting on my journey, you know, throughout I'm just starting. I'm like here, you know, I'm just
Yeah.
building my foundation. What's something you could look back on your journey and just advise?
Let me share something with you that will help you, because nobody ever shared this with me, and then I'm going to answer the question you had
Yes.
too.
Okay.
So this will help you. This will help everybody, but this will really help you.
Okay.
It took me 6 years to make money in the music industry. 6 years. 6. It took me 10 years to make enough money where I could really like support myself, and I don't mean like buy a BMW and Christian Dior shoes. I mean like support myself, like break even every month. I was like 1 month away from being homeless if I had a toothache, right?
Yeah.
It took me really like 12 to 15 years, and I'm 33 years in, to really get to the point where I felt secure. I've never been wealthy, right, doing what I do, but that wasn't my goal either. Like, I wasn't doing this to become a multimillionaire. I was doing this so that I could have fulfillment and feel good about myself, right? And I still needed to support myself, but I realized that I had a choice. I could either start like making a lot more money and then like get married, have kids, and have a normal life, or I could keep doing what I'm doing and just helping people and not focus on the money. And I think if I had it to do all over again, in 2003, so I was 11 years in, I learned how to flip real estate. And I realized that if I could make money in real estate, and I've made more money in real estate than I have in music, but if I could make money in real estate, then I could help artists, and it wouldn't matter if I was getting paid or not, because I didn't depend on them to eat. I had a way to eat over here. So my advice would be to learn a skill, like maybe coding, right? If you're into computers, coding is a skill where you can do it part-time and make a whole lot of fucking money and support your craft and your career yourself, or at the very least have enough money to be making a little bit of a dent with your music while you look for an investor. because you can't do this without money. It takes money to survive. It takes money to succeed. And I wish somebody had told me that, and I wish they had told me how long it would take. Because I thought, I'll start this business. Yes, it's a not-for-profit, but I'll do some for-profit stuff on the side, and I'll be able to support myself in a year. And when I couldn't, I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought, oh, I must not be good enough. Or, you know, I didn't know. I didn't know why I couldn't, and I thought it was me, and it really took a hit. Like, my self-esteem really took a hit. But as I started to get to know other people in the industry and really talk to them, I realized that, oh shit, they're not making money either. And this industry is also very cyclical. Like, right now, nobody's making money in the music industry. The artists are, and people touring are, and people that are dropping music consistently, but people like myself, behind the scenes people, the media in the music industry, like, I'm watching all these people now start charging for their newsletters that were free up until now, and I'm like, wow, you guys are struggling.
Yeah.
And we all are. Like, I'm taking a hit. I'm working twice as hard right now to make half as much money. But you either need a way to make money so that you don't hit bottom, or you need to figure it out, because, like, reduce your expenses, because it's cyclical. There's times where you'll be doing okay, and then there's times where you're not doing okay. And you need to be able to figure that out so that you're not homeless in those down periods.
Yes.
You know?
And I appreciate that. You know,
Absolutely.
That meant a lot to me, because especially being a young woman in the industry, just moving forward, sometimes my focus gets shifted because I feel, wow, I can juggle all of these things. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. And at the end of the day, like, there has to be key points and focuses that you have, especially when you are building a business. You know, you want people to see, like how you said, like, they were never charging for their newsletters. Now they are. Someone like you could naturally see, oh, Gorgeous is struggling, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But I appreciate what you said to me, because a lot of times, like, especially when I'm by myself or I'm reflecting on, okay, what is it that I've done? What is it that I'm trying to do? And I understand that it takes capital.
It does.
It takes time.
It takes time. So don't feel like, if you're 3 years in, don't feel like, oh, I'm a failure. I've been doing this 3 years and I'm not breaking even. No, it takes a long time. Start asking people, like the generation above you, like, how long did you do what you do before you made enough money to survive in music, right? Because everybody has side hustles, like me with the real estate, or somebody else is coding to make money, or somebody else has a day job. You know, we all make money in different ways, but sometimes when it doesn't come in music, we think there's something wrong with us, and there's nothing wrong.
And a lot of people get discouraged, you know.
Yeah, and they give up.
Yes.
And sometimes you can give up, like, right before you're about to like explode. Like, imagine if I had given up at year 5.5. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've done some amazing shit. You know?
Yeah. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming on today.
I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate you for being a part of the platform, Afro Odyssey. We thank you, and we apprient everything you shared with us today. I'm so happy you took time out.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
It's been a long time coming.
I know. We got it
together, though.
We got it talk.
You chased me for a long time, and thank you. Thank you for your patience, because it wasn't personal. I'm operating at a level right now that's just insane.
And trust me, I want to say I understand, but I will.
You will.
I will. That's what we should say. That's what we should say. I will.
Because there's a point where you need to hire staff, but you can't. It comes down to, like, okay, do I hire somebody or do I pay my mortgage? I'm doing it myself. So then it's like, okay, I'm doing that. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this needs to get done. So I'm already doing this. Shit, now I'm doing 18-hour days. And it's like, the last thing I want to do is, like, stop that flow or that grind, because then my money will stop. And it's like, but I got to do this, I got to do that, I need to do this, I need to do that. So we focus where we can, and we do the best we can.
I appreciate you, Wendy. Thank you so much for being a part of Afro Odyssey.
My pleasure.
And of course, we gotta do something big, man. We gotta plan some, we gotta talk about some, but I appreciate you for coming on today and believing in me from the start.
Absolutely.
You know, being a part of this journey with me, and even advising me as a mentor, watching your stuff for years and years and years. You definitely motivated me. So
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Keep going, don't stop.
Thank you.
It's really worth it.
Thank you.